Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Institutionalized with Dauphin Williams. I've recorded like 3 or 4 times now, but for some reason my camera wasn't working, so I had to hook up my backup mic. So hopefully you can hear me now. What we're going to talk about today is Nick Cannon and his anti-Semitic remarks. Just this last Friday, Nick Cannon, the host of Wildin' Out and The Masked Singer, said some anti-Semitic things against Jewish people and white people and generally people without melanin. I'll let you judge for yourself. Watch the video, please.
So let's go to what it really is then. When we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys and understanding that our melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what, Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear and that
genetic annihilation
deficiency when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul. That we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less, and where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear, they're acting out of low self-esteem, they're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this. I don't want to say warrior, but they built up such this conquering barbaric mentality that they're coming out of Europe. They then said, in order for us to survive, we have to take what's not ours. And then they went into the land that actually where we are originated. And instead of trying to make friends, they said, we want what you got, because there's this mentality of whether it's the Caesars or even that we have to conquer.
Right.
So I say all that to say the context. And when we speak of whether it's Jewish people, white people, Europeans, the Illuminati, they were doing that as survival tactics to stay on this planet.
Right, because
we never had to do that.
Right, because they've learned when they circumnavigated the globe and they ran into these islands and these places, and we were already there to greet them.
Right. With open arms.
Teaching them, but they
were deficient.
They were deficient, so they wanted to get what they thought we had, and we did have it. So the rape took place of the woman. The theft took place of the natural resources.
And then that's when their disease,
exactly.
That's where their mentality, because I'm trying to get to that place of how they were able to get control over the gods, how they were able to get control over their
once they learned that, though, and now they raped and impregnated, left and came back, and they saw the child lighter, they said, wow, that's when they learned genetics. Genetic annihilation. So now you have to set up a system of white supremacy to control that.
Right.
So now we have 13 families here, Illuminati that's manipulating and controlling. Subgroups. Now we got to set up organizations.
Coming out of Europe.
You understand what I'm saying? And for that same system, now you're talking about survival, what you just laid out. Now it's fight or flight. Now we have to set up these systems in order to survive.
Right.
But listen, not just survive to get some damn some hamburger buns and some cheese. I'm talking about on a genetic level.
On the genetic, because they will, and that's even from the white nationalists to the white supremacy mentalities to Donald Trump himself wanting to build walls.
Right.
They're trying to keep what they consider purity.
Exactly, on a subconscious
trying to stay
level.
alive.
Because sometimes they don't know why they acting out.
It's just been proven. Was National Geographic just put it out by 2050? Every person will be a person of color
in a minute.
They saying that's as soon as 2050.
Nick Cannon does have support, though. Sean Puffy Combs, otherwise known as P. Diddy, has offered for him to come to Revolt TV, partly owned by Sean Puffy Combs. Also, Charlamagne the God. If you don't know who Charlamagne the God is, he's the one who has the morning show. The one, incidentally, that Joe Biden was on, saying that if you don't vote for him, you're not black. Go figure. The funny thing is, Nick Cannon didn't originally want to apologize. He thought he said nothing wrong until Viacom CBS decided to cancel him, along with this cancel culture that cancels everybody else who says something wrong. And in a turn of events, Nick Cannon was called a sellout by his own people. Yes. In a statement on Twitter, Nick Cannon says, I heard an entire community and it pained me to my core. I thought it couldn't get any worse. Then I watched my own community turn on me and call me a sellout for apologizing. Good night. Enjoy Earth. Prayer hands and a blue heart. Nick Cannon had a follow-up post that says, y'all can have this planet. I'm out. Another incident. Monica Cannon Grant goes on a racist tirade against Ayanna Presley's Republican challenger.
At some point, we're going to have a conversation with black folks who get in a relationship with white folks and then forget that they black. We're going to have that conversation. And I know it's going to fuck with y'all nerves. It's going to be uncomfortable. But we're going to have that conversation, because if white vagina and white penises jeopardize your melanin, then we need you to sit in the back of the classroom, and this ain't your part of the show, and you don't get to talk right now. Until you practice some self-love, know your history, and realize where the fuck you came from, this ain't your part of the show. We need you to sit in the back. I need all the people that understand what it is to wake up black, regardless of how many educated gang symbols you have at the end of your name, regardless of how close in proximity you are to white supremacy, regardless of how many white penises you ride. And I ain't mad at you, sis, because if you riding that motherfucker for a credit score, get you that house, boo. Get your 40 acres in your nigga. Haitian black man. But I get it. He living in Utah. He getting pink uncooked vagina. I get it. I get it. What I need you to do, though, is keep your mouth shut on black shit if you ain't ready to be black. That's what I need you to do. I need you to shut the fuck up. And be disrespectful. And I'll be damned if I let this melanin adjacent woman whose proximity to white supremacy is so disgusting, right? Be disrespectful to our congresswoman because white folks have convinced her that she been drinking the water. I don't know. White folks have convinced her that she was better. I don't know. She was one of those, she's an exceptional Negro. Is that what it is? She crossed county lines to disrespect a white woman. Malcolm X would have blew somebody's fucking head off.
I wonder how she feels about Nick Cannon, seeing as how he has kids with Mariah Carey, who's mixed. The one good thing I can say about Black Lives Matter is that they have exposed a lot of racists out there. Unfortunately, a lot of the racists have been black people. I think it's time to acknowledge that equality doesn't mean supremacy. Everybody's equal. Everybody has a different opinion. It's okay to celebrate people's differences. I think it's finally time to realize that people have different opinions. It's okay if you have a different opinion. You don't have to agree. You're an individual. I have different friends of different races, and it seems like their own race has disowned them because of their political beliefs or their beliefs in general. Of course there's issues out there. Of course there's racism out there. But I don't think it's to the extent that people are saying it is. There might be a lot of covert racism, but not overt racism. Unless you want to talk to Monica Cannon Grant. Morgan Freeman had it right. The way to get rid of racism is to stop talking about it. If we keep immersing ourselves in media that keeps on saying that everyone's racist, then everyone's going to be racist. People are born different. People have different experiences. Therefore, people are going to grow different. People are going to learn different. People are just going to be different. It's okay. Terry Crews says, when I was young, I was never afraid of the KKK. It was people like you, the threat, the intimidation, discouraging free thought, and insult of acting white. My heart breaks because your behavior only reveals you don't know how powerful you are. Then right under that, somebody says, you're going so hard against Nick Cannon, but when you fall, no black person will have your back. Watch. It's a shame how people get so vindictive when somebody goes against their own idea. Seems black and white to me. If you're Christian, then this is not the way we should be going. We should be listening to God and listening to Scripture. Now, I'm not a perfect Christian at all. No one is. However, I try my best, and I have my own convictions about things. The way the world is going right now, I think everything is a wake-up call, and that we should really pay attention to the signs. Thank you, YouTube, again for joining me. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that way you know when my next episode hits. Don't forget about Cast Ascendancy Podcast and YouTube. Also, don't forget about Cast Ascendancy Patreon. It has a lot of cool options. It also has a deal where you get a lot of workout information and it helps you out. You get videos that shows different ways to work out. You also get question and answers with Art and Amber. Thanks again, YouTube, and don't forget, free your mind.